New at 10, the annual two-day Honolulu Defense Forum kicked off at an undisclosed location in Waikiki. Hundreds of military leaders, lawmakers, and defense and tech executives discussed ongoing threats across the Pacific at the event, organized by the Hawaii-based think tank Pacific Forum. Top issues included rising competition with China, the Philippines, Taiwan, and North Korea.
You see China in their relationship with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. You see Russia and China's cooperation. And it's a fine line between cooperation and collusion, I think. And so when we see that, and we see technologies moving across sort of that salient across those three nations, I think that it's a thing that we have to pay attention to.
Japanese Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi also addressed attendees on his way to Washington, D.C. to meet with U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Among the keynote speakers, Admiral Samuel Paparo of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command and the President of Palau.